For introduction, organizational changes are defined as changes in an organization that have a major impact on the organization as a whole. Change can also refer to a shift in how activities are carried out, work is finished, and problem resolved. This transition is challenging and time-consuming, but we believe it was rewarding in the end. Significant changes to the personnel, firm objective, service offerings, and processes are examples of organizational transformations. This is substantial category. We must first determine the type of organizational change before we can build a change management strategy. This simplifies the implementation of the best change management strategy. We can select the best change management solution if we are aware of the type of organizational change that is taking place. Organizational transformation is critical for a business. Any company that expects the pace of change to halt in today's fast-paced market will be greatly disappointed. When a firm expands, new teams and divisions are formed, and company adopt new technology to remain competitive, individuals depart and are replaced. The manner in which a company handles organizational change is critical to its success and fruition. It is vital to advise employees of changes and make sure they understand how they may affect them. The ability of business to promote new talents and specialties will help the entire company, including personnel, become much better, well-rounded and skilled team members. Employees who accomplish the same jobs on a consistent basis might not get the chance to demonstrate their expertise or discover anything new to bring to the organization. People who perform the similar thing every day are unlikely to learn new abilities. Employees will be motivated to learn new skills as an outcome of organization change and changing corporate culture in need to keep competitive in changing times. The capability to adapt change will assist businesses in consistently identifying and cultivating new business ideas and prospects. Having good change management policy in place will help any organization develop into new areas prompted through different ways of thinking. This could include collaborating with other businesses to improve simply making new contacts that will lead to higher sales growth. Organizations that do not implement organization transform risk falling behind and losing momentum. They must evolve and adapt to keep step with the ever-increasing technological and developing times. If at all possible, organizations may be able to move and adapt quickly. Rigid work environments can stifle creativity, which is required for the creation of new ideas. Organizations must put in place a practice and has future market worth. Employees who see their firm as more easily adaptable to changing new situations and reacting to change, as well as being able to observe excellent attitudes from above, will always see the company as relevant and eager to grow. Organizations can create a plan for staff education by deciding what types of organizational changes they will undertake. Organizations can solicit input as they implement the change and alter their change management strategy and attempt for offer them with the assistance they require to maintain morale. This shows that they are aware that the company leaders are doing all necessary to better their condition, which leads to happy teams member.
Organizational change is difficult to implement and it can be a touchy subject in business world. Change can be very, very beneficial whether it's for the better or for the worse. Consider from Twitter issues. Elon Musk forced his employees to adapt their new working style since the company's politics were shifting. So, Elon Musk came out with a rule of 3 months severance since not everyone is a fan of change and some of them are resistant to change. Nowadays, world is changing at a rapid pace and it will influence on business. As stated by in later dive story, to survive the pandemic in 2020 to 2021, a furniture retailer had to employ digital marketing due to the stores had to close when stay-at-home orders were implemented. Besides, L'Oreal had to terminate more than 80 staffs. Glossier, a beauty company, had to close its stores in August 2020 and fired all of its retail staff before return to traditional brick-and-mortar sales a year after. This is called an unplanned change due to natural disaster, forcing some businesses to retrench their employees to save their businesses. Business alters their business operations for a variety of reasons. The Age market article stated that Justin Lim and Lynette Hill gains in resolving forced labor were accomplished after employing independent specialists. This referred to a change agent. A change agent is someone who initiates and is responsible for managing change in the company. This independent consultant in this case has been tasked with Top Glove in evaluate its ethical trade, human rights and fair labor standards. Top Glove needed modifications and improvements, hence the consultant recommended corrective action plans and monitored the implementation. Change is generally a good thing, however, not all change is beneficial and some businesses find it difficult to adapt. According to Ryan Brown, 12,000 Google employees and from Karen Weiss in New York Times, 10,000 Microsoft employees were laid off to reduce costs. On People Matter, 110 staff laid off from Carousel. Meanwhile, Amazon also predicts that 20,000 of their employees will likely to be let go. Employees who are suspended or terminated may face serious consequences. Employees who have been laid off may experience shock, distrust, skepticism, and frustration. Adapting to changes will be difficult for employees who have been laid off. Companies need to tackle this resistance by offering support. A change agent can make a variety of encouraging attempts to lessen change resistance.
Organizational change may be difficult to implement. Tactics may be different from one organization to the next, but fundamental concepts remain constant. Organizational transformation can be touchy topics for businesses. People are sometimes resistant to change, no matter the changes is for the better or for the worse. However, changes can be beneficial. It may assist a company in remaining relevant and competitive in the marketplace. For example, Twitter CEO Elon Musk had to make drastic changes in the working style since he took over the company, but not all of the employees is fond of the changes he made, making him had to retrench some of the employees. We all know that the fact the world is changing at a rapid pace and will have an influence on the businesses. As such, it is critical to have a stable work environment so that each employee can adjust to the changes and contribute to the company's success. Businesses alter their business operations for a variety of reasons. This method might be initiated by a change agent from outside or by the corporation itself. Do you know what is a change agent? A change agent is someone who initiates and is responsible for managing change in a company. Change agent can be anyone from the company or outside the company. For example, Top Glove. Top Glove hired an outside change agent for their company to manage and monitor the implementation of the organizational changes within the organization. The change agent gives support, recommendation to Top Glove in which area that need modification while monitoring the implementation.
Google parent company Alphabet is the latest tech giant to slash its workforce, announcing cuts today of 6%. In an email to employees, the company's CEO said it had hired for a different economic reality than the one we face today. Google, with 12,000 employees cut, joins other big tech companies that ramped up hiring during the pandemic. Microsoft this week said it would slash about 10,000 workers. Amazon began layoffs expected to impact 18,000 employees. All this after Meta said late last year it was letting go of 11,000. Smaller tech companies have also been reducing headcount.
For me, it was my first time, so it was a little bit of a gut punch.
In Louisville, Kentucky, Amber Fields was laid off 2 weeks ago from her job at online styling service Stitch Fix.
How easy or hard is it to find a job in tech right now?
It's very difficult. There's a hiring freeze. There's a backfill freeze. Like, we're not just not hiring, we're also not replacing the roles that we just laid off.
With the unemployment rate at a historic low 3.5%, experts say the tech sector layoffs seem contained so far.
The question is whether there'll be just a ripple or an avalanche.
The Fed forecasts unemployment rising to 4.6% this year as it raises interest rates. That could mean 1.8 million more Americans losing their jobs. Amber is taking the time to work on her own startup project.
This is why I go beast mode, is because I got a little person looking at me like, so what are we eating today? I'm like, you're right. Let me figure that out.
Tens of thousands of workers now in the same boat.
And Brian, looking at the big picture, how difficult will it be for some of these laid off employees to find work?
Lester, well, it's not going to be easy, but the latest numbers that we have show 10.5 million job openings in this country. The challenge is that as sectors like tech and now also finance see pullbacks, is there a match between the positions that are available and the talent pool that's now all of a sudden a lot larger?
All right, Brian, thanks very much.
Maintaining organizational health and growth may necessitate and rely on transformation. Adapting to change is usually required in the business world in order to remain competitive and meet the demands of a changing market. Change is generally a good thing and is commonly appreciated in life. However, not all change is beneficial, and some businesses find it difficult to adapt. As we saw in the previous video, there are mass layoffs in big and top companies in the world. Employees who are suspended or terminated, as well as those who escape layoff, may face serious consequences. Employees who have been laid off may experience shock, fury, distrust, skepticism, frustration, and flight. Employee layoff may result in protests and conflict if they are not managed carefully and correctly. Employees who are still working are becoming more concerned about their status at workplace. Most survivors in a decreased workplace are likely to believe that they must work for greater hours, that their job will be less enjoyable, and that they will be paid less.
I will present about the recommendation. They are the ways the organization can effectively manage change in their organization. Firstly, organizations should create strategy for staff to accept the change. For example, use participatory tactics that allow employees to participate in designing work activities and the change process in a non-cursive environment without exceeding their energy and work time limits. Second recommendation is organizations should adopt a change management strategy in order to respond quickly necessary. Next recommendation is change management that prepare a change plan is extremely effective. For example, start to prepare for change by developing new vision to guide the transformation and a strategy to attain vision. In addition, organizations must provide training to their employees when the change involves shift in technologies or processes by provide adequate training for your employees to help them master their way of doing things. Lastly, communication is one of the keys to sustaining change effectively. Employers must collect data, assesses findings, and make decisions based on what they need to know about employees' needs, as well as can changing the way employees interact with one another.
For the conclusion, organizations can be structured in a variety of ways, each with its own set of benefits and drawbacks, while some organizational structures are better suited to specific surroundings and jobs. Any poorly managed system will have problems when the environment changes and the organization that operates in that setting must frequently adapt. Company changes can be difficult and costly in terms of both time and resources if proper organizational change management is not implemented. Change resistance can occur in practically and facet of a company's operations, and various culture may react differently to the change and the strategies employed to bring it about. There are numerous activities that can be used to produce employee anxiety and smooth the transition process, allowing for more major changes. Employee involvement in the change process can frequently minimize opposition to novel approaches, because this level of inclusion may not be possible in some businesses. Organizations may instead choose a few opinions leaders to assist them in spreading the word about the benefit of impending changes. Certain forms of changing, such as mergers, frequently result in employment losses. In these cases, it is critical to fire the employee in a fair and ethical manner. Once the changes have been made, it is critical to complete all the essential tasks to support the new system. Employees may still require assistance following organizational changes. Change should be welcome, not feared. Businesses can only achieve long-term success by embracing change.